Hello everyone, welcome to our 8th episode of Ask AstronEra, and today's episode will be dedicated to the memory of Dr. Govind Swarup, Professor Govind Swarup. He's been my mentor, he's been mentor to AstronEra since past 5 years, and without his guidance we would have not been where we are today. So he passed away on the evening of 7th of September this year 2020, and I'm here today to talk about some of his memories that I have, some of his key work that he has done, and also whenever we used to go meet him, we used to have we used to record our discussions with him on camera, and he was very enthusiastic about it. He was very enthusiastic about science communication, about making astronomy reach out to people, and he was proud of our work. So today I'll be sharing this video that we have had with him, in which he's talking about astronomy very enthusiastically, and you'll definitely see that. The video is of 7 minutes, so I will keep talking anyway about him after that. But before that, let me tell you a little bit about his work. He was known for he was known for many great things, but the three main things that I would like to share with you about his contribution. The first one is the discovery of type U solar bursts that he did back in his research days, and many of his work, the applications are being used across the globe in radio astronomy, which was his main field. And also he has given two great gifts to India. He was known as the father of Indian radio astronomy, the pioneer of Indian radio astronomy, and of course he has contributed so much to the field, not just in India but even abroad in the field. So the biggest contribution in India was his Ooty radio telescope that he built back in 1960s, 1970s. It is a parabolic cylindrical kind of radio telescope, which is about 530-meter long and 30-meter wide. So that is huge. So these telescopes together, like there are several antennas, and it together kind of makes one big telescope that lets us see the radio signals that are being sent from the galaxies in the space, which emit in radio waves. Also during 1980s to 95, he has built GMRT, Giant Metawave Radio Telescope, which is located near Pune in Narayangao, and it is open for visitors as well, so you can definitely go and see the antennas. The scientists there are really welcoming, and they also explain the working of the antennas really well. So there are about 30 antennas in GMRT spread across 25 kilometers of area. So that's massive, and each of this antenna has the diameter of about 55 meters. So one antenna is as big, the diameter of one antenna is 45 meters, so that's huge. And imagine 30 antennas like that spread across the field in 25 kilometers. These 30 antennas are shaped in a Y, which together makes a massive telescope. So as the name goes, it's the biggest metawave radio telescope that we have seen. He was also really involved in the square kilometer array, about which he also mentions in his video. About GMRT, I would also like to share another conversation that we have had together, in which he was explaining to me how GMRT works. We used to organize some camps, and in some camps we used to take students to GMRT to visit the telescope, to have a look at it, understand how the antennas work. And he was really enthusiastic about it, and he made me draw a sketch of what he explained, which I'll share with you right now. So he said that imagine that GMRT is like a Ravan from Sri Lanka. You must have heard the story. So Ravan had 10 head and of course 20 ears. So these antennas work like the ear of Ravan. How did Ravan know that Shankara was sitting in Kailas Parvat while Ravan himself was in Sri Lanka? So Govind Swarup sir said that he understood that Shiva sat in Kailas is because he could hear him with his 20 ears, and that would help him locate Shankara. So you can do this experiment yourself. Like, since we have 2 ears on either side of the face, we understand where exactly the sound is coming from. For example, if someone is talking from the right side, I would know it because there would be delay in hearing. I'd hear quickly on my right eye, and with the left eye, I'd hear a little bit later. So that's exactly how GMRT telescopes work, that these 30 antennas together work like 30 ears, and they help us locate the radio source that is in the sky. So without further ado, I'd like to show you this footage that we have had. No one has seen it before. I was just editing it yesterday, so go on, have a look.
Hello everyone, this is Shweta here from AstronEra, and today I'm sitting with the one and only Professor Govind Swarup, the mastermind behind GMRT, the Giant Microwave Radio Telescope near Pune. So we are going to have a little bit of chat with him. Let me ask you some questions here, and he is here to explain it to you. So sir, why do you think scientific temperament is important for the society?
Scientific temperament is very important to understand where to believe, what is the universe, not to believe in superstition. Okay, what is the life? Where does it come from? What are stars? To understand our surroundings. Scientific temperament is very basic. To understand why there are rivers, why there are mountains. These are all basic questions.
Right. And how do you think that astronomy is important, and how astronomy has the society thinking about scientific temperament?
Well, astronomy is our surrounding. I mean, we look at the sky, then of course there were people like 5th century, 6th century.
Aryabhatta.
Yes. So the question is Earth rotating or sky rotating? Aryabhatta had answered to it just by looking at it. So it's wonder. There's a how I wonder what they are. Children are told, and it's very basic. We wonder. We see the birds, we see the animals. Where are they? What are they? We are taught this in schools. It is Darwin's evolution. Similarly, when we look at the sky, we should understand this. I don't think you need to be expert, but you have to have a basic knowledge.
So, how do you think students should approach astronomy? Where do you think they should start?
Well, there are places like Astronomy. You should attend their. They have camps. They take you in the dark sky. They take you to various places to look at the sky. There are others. There are some schools which have 4-inch, 6-inch Chinese telescopes. The schools, suddenly they have the telescope, but they don't use it. The students should just make a club.
What opportunities do the students of astronomy might have in their future?
Well, if you are very serious, study physics and mathematics, that's basic to all sciences. Of course, if you are interested in chemistry, you study chemistry, biology. Many opportunities you get today. Many universities offer courses. ISA in Pune, Indian Institute of Science Education Research offer courses. The more advanced people like Dr. Institute of Research, IUCA, NCRA, National Research Institute, Indian Institute of Astrophysics. The 3.6 meter optical telescope near Nainital. 2.2 meter telescope of Indian Institute of Astrophysics.
Now we are also going to have the office of Square Kilometer Array in NCRA.
Yeah.
So there is a big opportunity coming up for everyone who wants to do
There are
something in
questions.
astronomy.
The questions, are we alone in the universe? The billions of stars in our own galaxy, there are billions of galaxies. So the chances are life will go elsewhere. I'm very sure I will not probably be there. I'm 90 next year, maybe another 2, 3, 4 years. But within 5 years, 10 years, maybe like next few years' time, the Kepler telescope would have found sign of methane, 4,000 planets like have been found nearby stars. And people are searching for some of those. Some are very hot. They're very, very interesting. And some Earth like. And if you find methane there, certainly the life of elemental life. If there are frogs, snakes, or tigers, we don't know. But the interesting question is that the billions of stars, chances are some have advanced civilization like us. Are they broadcasting? So we don't know. They may not like to broadcast because somebody will come and invade them. But they may have radars, they may have other things, so somebody can see. But they may also like to propagate, like all religious propaganda of religion.
Right. So I think the real question is there intelligent life elsewhere? Not just life.
It's square kilometer away. We search billions of search for extraterrestrial intelligence. GMRT also likely to join for this. AstronEra is a very serious institution which they have been found. They're planning to have lots of courses, simple courses, more advanced courses. Some are free, some are paid, and so you should look at them. I congratulate Shweta and her colleagues to have built it up. It's a unique thing in India. There is nothing else like that. You want to know more about astronomy? Look at the site of Astronomy. Okay, stay tuned.
So this video was shot 2 years ago, right when we had released our website AstronEra, and his words of encouragement meant the world to us. So seeing this video brings me back a lot of his memories, and though the grief that I feel because of him passing is really unconsolable, however, his memories would always stay with me, and it just keeps giving me so much of positivity and make me realize that if I was so lucky to have such a person as my mentor to guide me, there's nothing else that I could ask for. I met him at some conference. Dr. C.N.R. Rao, who is mentor of my other mentor, Dr. Raghunath Mashilkar, he was delivering a lecture in Pune, and I was attending that, and Dr. Govind Swarup was also there, and Mashilkar sir introduced me to him, and we had a brief word. Some radio astronomy program was going on around the corner, and he invited me to talk about the things that I did. Astron was very, very new back then, and he invited me in his office in NCRA, which is located in Pune University. So I went to meet with him, and we had organized this program called Temperament back then. So he was really happy about this name, and he congratulated me for coming up with such a name, which told people how astronomy can also be learned with entertainment. He was really, keen about astronomy outreach, and this one time we were going to Department of Science and Technology, Central Government of India, to tell them about our work. And so we were going to have this final presentation in front of the panel at DST to give us a grant about science popularization project that we had in mind. And Dr. Swarup asked me to come to his residence and talk about that project. So I went there, and me and my colleague had prepared a big presentation which was supposed to have only 5 slides and explain the whole thing that we were going to do for the project. And Dr. Swarup was very disappointed at me, and he really scolded both of us that you are having this presentation in front of such a huge government body, and you have to be more thorough, you have to make even more better presentation. And he really scolded us. I mean, that's what we expect the mentors to do, right? Not just tell us how good we are doing, but also tell us where we are lacking. And he did exactly that for us. And we were really disappointed because we disappointed him. But when we reached home, I had received an email from him in which I was kept CC, and he had sent the mail directly to the DST as the recommendation letter for us. So he used to always say that more people should get into astronomy and the government should focus on it more, not just the research but also the outreach. He was really into finding the extraterrestrial life, and he was really passionate about that. He told me that GMRT is our tool in India that we can use to find the extraterrestrial life. But when I asked him why we are not taking it up, he said that if people were to take up this field to find extraterrestrial life, there should be enough funds available. If government looks into it as much, the funds will be available and people will get into this field and do it, just like SETI. So, you know, he could connect with us young generation. He always told me that he liked to talk with me and my colleagues, and he always loved to talk with the younger generation. He used to say that it keeps him updated about what's going on in the world right now. And so, you know, whenever I met him, even at the age of 90 that I met him last on his birthday, he was really enthusiastic, and he asked me to take a selfie with him. I gifted him a little painting that shows how astronomy is reaching to common man, and he was really impressed with that. So there are so many memories about him that I can share, and this was such a legend and such an amazing person that India was lucky to have. He was also one of the fellow of the Royal Society in the UK, not Royal Astronomical Society, but the Royal Science Society. And when I went to UK, they have this big book in which there are all the signatures of the people who have been the fellow of the Royal Society of England. And Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar is also a fellow. Dr. Govind Swarup is also a fellow. Darwin was also fellow. So, you know, Dr. Govind Swarup had done this signature in the book that I got to saw when I went to the UK. In the same book, there is signature of Darwin as well. So you can realize what level this person had. And I will always, you know, keep his memories in my heart. And I hope that me doing this work, me reaching out to you guys, he's one of the star stuff now, and he's looking up to us, looking down to us, whatever it is, and hope he is always amongst us as a star stuff. So if you have any questions, I'd take it up. I have a question from Kiran Kulkarni. He's asking, please explain the concept behind radio telescope. So radios are one of the signal. The optical telescope, the normal telescope that we have at home, which has mirrors or lenses, we see optical signals, optical images of the astronomical bodies in that. But with radio telescope, we receive different signals which are not optical. So these radio telescopes capture that, and GMRT is a piece of art, literally, because the mastermind that Dr. Govind Swarup was, he designed those massive antennas. I told you already that it's 45 meter wide is the diameter of just one antenna, and there are 30 of them. So he designed them so differently that he made the design of the antenna as as a mesh. So if you go look at the antenna really closely, it is not completely filled in with material. And with the mesh, there are lots of problems that are being solved. Even with heavy wind, the antenna stays steady because the wind just passes through the mesh, and the mesh is still strong enough that it catches all the signals from the space that are coming with the radio waves. Also in the rain, GMRT is still working because the water doesn't, stay in the antenna. It just drips by because it's made out of mesh again. We have another question by Miss Nirgude. What is Darwin's evolution? This is not really an astronomical question, but Darwin's revolution basically talks about the development of life, basically how from a monkey man evolved. So yeah, it's there in the in our school books, but as Dr. Swarup said, astronomy is not there as much as it should be. Another question is, there is the radio telescope. Can we also send it in space? I'm not really sure. We can. I'm not sure if there are already any radio telescopes in space, but yes, I think we can send them in space. So yeah, today's session was dedicated in the loving memory of our beloved mentor, Dr. Govind Swarup. And let me know if you have more questions, which I can talk about in the next session as well. And we'll wrap it up for today. Thanks and clear skies.